ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागमशिरघुनाथं वितं तं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदं सगणललितां श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So thank you very much. Today is very important topics, important of hearing. So we will discuss about the importance of hearing. It has been described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and all the beautiful verses in Bhagavatam. It is stated very nicely that how this benefit of hearing, or the importance of hearing, paramount importance of it. The beautiful verses in Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 12, Text 50. So we'll discuss on this. तदैव रम्यं रुचिरं नवं नवं तदैव स्वस्यन् मनसो महोत्सवं तदैव शोकान्नव श्वसनं निन्नां यदुत्तमश्लोको दशानुगीयते. Translation: those whose words describing the glories of all famous personality of Godhead are attractive, releasable, ever-fresh. Indeed, such words are perpetual festival for the mind. They dry up the ocean of nature. So, this the problem, the one problem that made the living entities bound in this material world since time memorial, that is torn away from the Lord. That is the Himalayan mystic, Himalayan blunder we have committed. We torn away from the Lord. As a result, we have been suffering and in this material world undergoing different species of life, fleeing from different species. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare. Shankaracharya has very nicely spoken Muhammad Dagra. It's a beautiful poetry, so many verses, very, very instructive verses. So one of the verses is Punarapi Maranam Punarapi Janani Jathari. Again taking birth, again in the womb of the mother, fleeing from one womb to another womb. We are transmigrating or fleeing from one womb to another womb. So in this way, we have been rotting in this material world. Only problem that we have turned away from the Lord. So it is stated in these beautiful verses that Pitvatma Maya Rakita Grihapatya Sriyaha. Those who have turned away from the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, being under the spell of Lord's illusory energy, are eventually forced to give up their so-called homes, children, friends, wives, lovers, which are all created by illusory potency of Supreme Lord, and enter against their will into the darkest region of the universe. So that is the thing, that we have turned away from the Lord. Now we have been rotting in this material world, and we have been suffering. Why we are suffering? Because Janaha Krishna Vimukhasya Daivat Adharma Silasya Sudukhitasya. Because as soon as we turn away from the Lord, and in this material world is full of misery, is impregnated with untold misery, very precarious, excruciating, painful, particularly pain of undergoing birth, disease, adhyatmic, adidoibik, adibhautik, etc. So only way to get out from this miserable condition of life is to hearing about Krishna Katha. This is stated in beautiful verses why the hearing is very, very important. It is stated in these beautiful verses. Prabhupada used to quote this verse. Sansara sindhum atidustratam ustisya. The person who is suffering in the fire of countless miseries, who desires to cross the insurmountable ocean of material existence, there is no suitable boat except that cultivating devotion to the transcendental taste for the narration of Supreme Personality of God at pastime. So that is the solution has been given. That we have been now Sansara Sindhu. Sansara Sindhu means insurmountable ocean of existence. Since time memorial, we do not know. Since time memorial, at least for this creation, Lord Brahma has got 311 trillions and 40 billions here. And Brahma has passed half of the day. One day of Brahma is 311 trillion and 40 billion. That is the Brahma's lifespan. And the Brahma has passed half of this his lifespan. That means we have been in this creation rotting and rotating in this material world 150 trillion, 55 trillion and 20 billions of people. That means how many births we have taken, how many times we have undergone so much suffering. Chaitanya Charitamrita stated that how we have been suffering from so long for only one reason. Only one reason we have been suffering. Krishna bhuli se jiva anadi bahirmukha ateva maya tare de sansara dukha. Forgetting Krishna, the living entity has been attracted by the external feature from the time immemorial. Therefore, the illusory energy Maya gives him all kind of misery in his material existence. Only one reason that makes us undergoing such a trials and tribulations, such a predicament, that we have turned away from the Lord. We do not want to reconcile with Lord. You do not want to be with God. You want to separately enjoy. You want to be a master. You want to compete with God, envy with God. You want to defy the authority of the God, defile him. As consequently, we have been put in a very precarious condition, excruciatingly precarious condition. कबू स्वर्गो उठाए कबू नरक डुबाए दंडे जने राजा जन नंदित चुबाए. In the material condition, the living entities sometimes raised to higher planetary system and material prosperity and sometimes drowned in a hellish situation. The state is exactly like that of a criminal whom king punishes by submerging him in a water, then raising him again from the water. So our the so-called happiness, so-called sad in this material world, it's like a punishment. Those in ancient time, the king used to give punishment, like he took the criminal to the river in the water and he bring his head down, and when this criminal feel very suffocated and bring up, and he was relaxed. Similarly, we have been tormented and tortured in this material world. Sometimes there is a relaxation from the Maya that we think that this is happiness. That is actually not happiness. There's a beautiful verses, I forget, it is say that dukkha pratikaram sukha manyate. Just like we are feeling very hot and we buy the air condition. That is not happiness. It's a counteracting our distress. That we consider as happiness. So therefore, the process is to hear the transcendental pastime of the Lord. Now we are in a precarious condition. So here the solution has been given. When the living entity is attracted by the material energy, which is separate from Krishna, he is overpowered by fear. Because he is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the material energy, his conception of life is reversed. In other words, instead of being eternal servant of Krishna, he becomes Krishna competitor. This is called Viparaya Smriti. To nullify this mistake, one who is actually learned and advanced worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a spiritual master and worshipful deity and source of life. He does worship the Lord by the process of another devotional service. So this has been given that how that we have to nullify this mistake. We have to execute devotional service. Particularly, this hearing process is very, very potent. Very, very potent hearing process. It is stated that particularly in this age of Kali, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say that very nice verses. The Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya Sarvanadi Shuddha Chitte Karye Udaya. Pure, because only process has been given to nullify this mistake is to engage in devotional service. Bhakti. Bhakti is very, very important. This is the criteria of pleasing the Lord and go back to Godhead. To terminate our existential dilemma, existential dissension, existential crisis, the only way that we have to execute bhakti. And particularly, it is stated that how we can sprout up that bhakti by the process of hearing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say that Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, this Krishna Prema or devotional service, a love of Godhead, which is the solution to sprout up our love, to awaken our devotional service, which is the solution to go back to Godhead, only can be awakened, can be sprouted up by the process of hearing. Originally, we have that love of Godhead. When you come in contact with material world, separating from the Lord, that has been dormanted. That has been contaminated, rusted, just like a magnet. A magnet is rusted means it will lose its attractive, what is that called? Magnetic field to attract the, iron. Similarly, living entities are eternally, we are lover of the God. We are part and parcel of it. But when we come separated from the Lord, we have forgotten. It is dormant. So that dormant love can be awakened, the process of hearing. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the heart of the living entity. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, this love naturally awakens. So this hearing process is very, very important. This Vasudev has very nicely given that how this hearing is very important, because what is the benefit of hearing here has been given. Jassanghai Sriyamanayam Krishna Parama Purushe Bhakti Utpadate Punsam Soko Mohamaya Pahe. Simply by once giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, fear. That is the criteria. That is the tremendous benefit of hearing. You will sprout up the love for Krishna, the attraction for Krishna, which is dormant due to the contamination of illusory energy. Not only that, it has got a side benefit. What is the side benefit? It will extinguish the fire of lamentation, fear, illusion, all this material world, the characteristic, the intrinsic characteristic of this material nature, material existence is full of lamentation. Everybody is lamenting. Everybody is full of fear, unpredictability, uncertainty about career, uncertainty about your wife, relationship, your everything, life, everything about us is uncertainty. Therefore, we are fear. We are fearful. We are lamenting because this is the place of loss. We are prone to lose because it's a place of transient place. Dukhalayam asaswatam is a transient place. We cannot maintain our status quo. I cannot become billionaires or Bill Gates, Rambani throughout for eternity. I have to give up. Along with my body, I have to give up all my assets, association, my relationship, everything. Everything will be forced to be taken away. By force, it is taken away from us. And also illusion. We have so much illusion. We have torn away from the Krishna, thinking that I am the master and I am the Lord of whatever I serve it. Lord of the material nature. I am the master. I am the independent. This kind of illusion put us into a very deep binding in different species of life, undergoing the obnoxious principal misery like birth, death, old age. Therefore, it is stated that very nicely that the medicine you have to take is this medicine is the hearing process. Bhava means medicine. Shloka manoviramat uttama sloki gunanubadan pumam virajita vinapasudhana. So here it is the medicine given, glorification of the Supreme Personality of God. It is performed in the Parampara system. That it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is released by those no longer interested in the false and temporary glorification of cosmic manifestation. Description of the Lord are right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher, one who is killing himself? Beautiful verses. Who will cease hearing such a glorification of the Lord except who really want to be suicide? Because this is the medicine. Bhava Sudha, Bhava Sagara means, Bhava means we are transmigrating to become elephant, ant, tiger, in this way, sometimes Indra, going up and down, but never get out from this material bonding. Therefore, this is the medicine of hearing. By hearing, the process of hearing, one can get out triumphantly from this material existence, material prison house. We are in prison. Sometimes higher there is in India, there is a cell, B cell, C cell. Some goes to A cell, very sophisticated. Wi-Fi, air condition, so and so forth. And some B cell, some C cell. But after all, you are in the cell. you are inside the jail. So whole criteria or bottom line is that we should try to get out from this material existence by the process of hearing. That is the first and foremost preemptive principle of bhakti, is hearing. Preemptive principle. Hearing is the expressway to, or highway, freeway to Godhead. The expressway. So in this regard, it is stated here very nicely. Gopis are very nicely singing that. So this is also stated in very nicely one of the beautiful verses quoted by Sukadeva Goswami, that the benefit of hearing. Pibanti je bhagavatatmanah satam pathamrutam sravana puteshu sambrintam punnanti te visaya vigusitasyam brajanti tascharana sararuhantikam. Those who drink through the oral reception means ear. So we should hear the Krishna Katha, the glories of the Lord, through not mouth, through ear. We have to taste. Fully filled with nectarian message of Lord Krishna, the beloved of the devotee, purify the polluted aim of life known as material enjoyment. Thus go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of Him, the personality of Godhead. It's a beautiful verse. Solution has been given. Because now our existence, due to our misdirected desire, polluted aim of life, to enjoy material world separately from the Lord. And that is not possible. That is very dangerous. Very dangerous, decision. It's not judicious, very dangerous. It is not prudent, imprudent decision. So only criteria, is the only process of getting out from this predicament is to hear the Krishna Katha. Very, very important. These gopis, very nicely, you can see that, in the beautiful verses, it is stated here that the gopis, that's speaking very nice verses. 10:31, Gopi Gita 10:31-9. Tabakatamritam tapta jivanam kavibiritam kalmasopam Sravan mangalam simadatam muvi grinanti je buridajanaha. So nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul, those who are suffering in this material. So everybody is suffering in this material world. Everybody, scorching sun of the material world. And the pastime, the words, the nectarian words and description of the activities of the Lord, they are like a nectar, life-giving nectar. Those who are suffering in this material world. This narration transmitted by Lord and knowledge says, learned sages eradicate one sinful reaction, bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. It's auspicious. Sravana Mangalam, all auspicious. Not only that, eradicate all sinful reactions. That's the Sravana Matrena. Murtu Sansara Vimuchyate. This is Vishnu Purana and not Vishnu Purana. It is stated where? I think Vishnu Purana. So, just the Sravana Matra, by simply hearing process, what it will do? Murtu Sansara Vimuchyate. It will eradicate all our sinful reaction by which we are struggling in this material world. The narration are broadcast all over the world and filled with spiritual power. Certainly those who spread the message of Godhead are most magnificent. So here it is very nice. This verse is actually spoken by the gopis himself. And Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he used to have a criteria that he will not, meet with any kind of people, those who are very much, materially engrossed, like a king, all these people. So Pratap Rudradev was king at the time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was at Puri. That time King Pratap Rudra wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had the glories from his secretary, from his minister, Rai Ramananda. who is the very confidential servitor of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But that meeting could not fix. Even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also um, given this, what you say, proposal on behalf of king, pleading, not proposal, pleading to meet. But that could not also, because Mahaprabhu was very strict. He do not want to even see the Visayana, the very beautiful verses in Madhya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very strict. His criteria is not to meet any kind of materialistic. And he compared that association with this materialistic people is very condemned. So he told that very nicely that Visaya 11, 9 or 8, forget 11, 8 or निष्कंचनस्य भगवत भजनमुखस्य परम पारम पारम परम जिगमस्य भावसागरस्य संद्रशनम विषयनाम खजोचितांच हांतांत विश्व. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has got a very criteria that he do not want to meet with materialistic. He is comparing that meeting with materialistic or see the materialistic who is after the money and woman is like taking the poison. So on that ground, he was not interested to meet king, because kings are very, there's so many opulent, so many queens, they are so much engrossed in the materialistic activities, materially engrossed. But there was a plan which has been, orchestrated by the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and all the associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how the king can meet. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after the Ratha Yatra, he used to take rest in the garden near the Gundicha temple. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking rest in the garden, Indradumna garden, that is called Indradumna garden. Then Mahaprabhu, then the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and asked the king, you go not with opulent, go is like a mendicant, go and massage him. And he was massaging him, the Lord, and he was singing with beautiful verses. Tava katha amritam tapta jivanam. When Mahaprabhu saw these beautiful verses, the gopis, and he became very so ecstatic, and he got up and embraced, and he asked this Prabhu, asked the king, again and again, speak, again and again, repeat like this. In this way, he accepted King Prataparudra as his own servitor of servitor. So that how much hearing also attracts the Hari. Hearing of Hari Katha attracts. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself Hari. When the Gopi Katha, the Gopi Geet, these beautiful verses was been recited before him, he awake from the sleep and embraced and forgiven. Not forgiven. He has actually, his criteria is broken. No. He embraced the king. Hari Katha attracts Hari. That is the criteria, how important it is. Not only this, also it is stated that this, what is the auspicious day? Auspicious day, supposing every time we say good morning. This is this English, parlance, customary etiquette, good morning and all. So what is good about the morning? The auspicious day means, or good morning or good day means, actually Narada Muni say in Narada Pancharatika, Padma Purana, that Narada Muni is speaking very nice. Tardinam durdinam manya, megachanam na durdinam. A day is not inauspicious if it is overcasted. Rainy day, we say rainy day is very bad and we cannot go out like this. No, that is not. Yaddinam Krishna Samlapa Piyusha Vartitam. That day is bad, where there is no Krishna Katha, where there is no hearing of Krishna Katha, no glorifying or chanting of Krishna Katha. That is a bad day. That is the criteria of Vedic perspective. So if we want to make our day, our life auspicious, we have to constantly hear. Otherwise, very tough. It is stated here, these beautiful verses, that Bhagavatam is full of instruction. Ayur harati vai punsam udyam astam chanya sutasyatte khinanitya uttama sloka bhatta. Both rising and by setting the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing the topics of all good personality of God. That is the criteria. Here it is said that every sunrise and sunset plunders our life. Plunderer. Sun is a plunderer of the duration of the life. Every sunrise and sunset. Except one who utilizes the time by hearing Krishna Katha, sun has no jurisdiction. Because Krishna is there. Krishna is more greatest plunderer. Braje Prasiddham Navanita Choram. He is a thief. He is a plunderer of butter. He is a plunderer of all the sinful karma. A thief does not require any kind of invitation. You may have, Maya may have erected big wall so that we won't be Krishna consciousness. But a thief, he knows how to sneak. So Krishna, as soon as you hear about Krishna, which attracts the Krishna Katha attracts Krishna. He immediately sneak into our heart through the ears. Therefore, hearing Hari Katha is very much indispensable, inevitable, very much incumbent upon the devotee to hear Hari Katha. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Sloke, Bhakti Bhavati Naist. If you want to develop the very pure love, very fixed, Nishta love, Naistiki love, there are two kinds of love, Naistiki and Naistiki. Naistiki means Nishta, full of Nishta, fixed up. That love we want to fixed in devotional service. That is called Naistiki. If one Naistiki love, that means we have to hear. Every day we should hear Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha means Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Spoken by the Lord and spoken about Lord. That is Krishna Katha. Therefore, this is very important help. Particularly in this age of Kali, there is a beautiful verses is there. This is Aho Bhi. This verse, very nice verses. Forget these verses. Yes. Aho vilna kaler vidyate sudha sudhara madhuram pade dine chandana sitalam jasodatana yasyate. One who daily sings and glories, one who daily sings the glories of Jasoda, the son, Jasoda's son Krishna, which are so cooling as sandalwood and camphor, is not troubled by the days of Kali Yuga. For him, at every step, there is a torrential flood of sweetest nectar. Very beautiful person. Aho birna kale vidyate. Kali Yuga, the scorching sun of Kali. Kali is very miserable, very scorching sun, very intolerable. But those who every day sings the glory of Jasodanandana Krishna, for him is like a so much scorching, very boisterous sun, becomes like a, very so cooling, like, you are having air condition in the back. You are having backpack as a air condition. That kind of thing, that can transform. Satya Yuga, Kali Yuga becomes Satya Yuga. The beautiful verses is that. Kali Yuga becomes Satya Yuga, or the scorching sun, scorching heat become a cooling, like, camphor and sandalwood. If you put the sandalwood and camphor, it give a cooling effect. It become a cooling, like air condition. We are carrying a air condition with you. That is the thing. That is the impact. That is the impact of, hearing. Effect of hearing. Tremendous effect. Gargantuan effect of hearing Krishna Katha. Therefore, Prabhupada always recommended daily. He has designed that every of the center should be programmed such that a devotee will be allowed, not only allowed, will be given chances or will be molded to hear Krishna Katha. morning Bhagavatam, evening going on, 24/7, going even while sleeping also. Before sleeping, they read Krishna book. Sleeping also, you have a subconsciously you hear Krishna Katha. Practice, training actually. Nityam Bhagavata Seva. This is the way we can prevent this song to take away our life. Or we become immortal. Therefore, it is say that Ayur Harati by Punsam. Although sun is plundering every rising, at every rising and setting, sun is plundering the duration of life. Tomorrow I am going to reduce one day of my life. But one who is hearing Krishna Katha, glorifying Krishna Katha, for him, because he wants to become immortal, he cannot take away any. The sun cannot take away the duration of life, because the devotee become immortal. That is also given by Parikshit Maharaj's life history. Parikshit Maharaj was a king who was death-bound king, was caused to die in 7 days. And he left everything. He left all his kingdom, wives, children, handed over to his son Janmejaya, and he left the house. He left the kingdom and took shelter of the bank of the Ganges. And that time, so many, very distinguished, towering personality sages, they came to see the, Parikshit Maharaj, very Chakravarti Samrat, the emperor of the world that time. Sukadev Goswami, also a young devotee of the Krishna, came. And he saw Sukadev Goswami when he came. There's a very beautiful question asked by the king. Purushasya yat karyam niyamanasya sarvata. He asked that, please show the way, the perfection for all persons, especially for one who is about. So in Kali Yuga, we are actually dying, as I told you that, as Bhagavatam says, that Ayur Harati by Punsam. Every sunrise every moment we are dying. Every sunrise we are reducing our life. That means we are on the third soul of the day. We do not know even. At least Parikshit Maharaj has got, 7 days notice. But we do not have that notice. Any moment. Life is very brief. Life is very uncertain. Nishwasa nahi vishwasa. Nishwasa nahi vishwasa. Every breath there is a death breath. We cannot trust. Therefore, here it is said that, therefore, we are on everyone in this living, in this material world, on the threshold of death, on the verge of death. Verge of death. We cannot guarantee. So here, on behalf of everyone, actually, Parikshit Maharaj is asking very, very important question. Kaun banega crorepati? This is a millions dollar, billions, trillion dollar question. That how one can become immortal. On the way to immortality. So Sukadev Goswami is answering to that, is giving a very nice answer. That you want to become immortal, then this is the process. Tasmad Bharat Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwara Hari Swateva Kititavya Cha Smateva Ichchata Bhayam. O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, also remember the personality of God, who is the super soul and controller and savior from all misery. That is the process. Hear about, glorify, remember the personality of God. If you hear, then glorify, remember, then we do not have to fear of death. We become immortal. Therefore, here is very, very paramount important for devotee, for every living entity, to not only awaken the dormant Krishna consciousness, but also ultimately go back to Godhead. Become immortal. Immortal means go back to spiritual world by Goloko. Once you go there, you will not come back. So this is the criteria. This is the very important things. Like also, if you see that uh, Rukmani, he have not seen the Krishna. So how hearing is important. Even after you do not see a person, by hearing you can be alert. You can be attracted. Even Prabhupada used to give example that supposing a person is sleeping, the 10 people are coming with machine gun, he will not awake up. But by simple alarm clock, he will get up. He will awake from his sleep. Because while sleeping also, all the senses are dead or inactive. Only one sense is hearing senses. Ear is the gateway to liberation. Ear is always active, even you sleep also. So Rukmani, you see, he has not seen Krishna, but he heard about Krishna. By hearing only, he developed she developed the attraction for Krishna and wanted to marry him. It's stated in this Bhagavatam that how hearing is important. Even you do not see the Lord, you can hear and you get attracted. We can awaken our love for the God. See, Rukmini Uvacha. He is very, very nice verses, this one. Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara sinvantam te nirbishya kanna vivere haratagdharapam rupam darsham drishyam akhila arthalabham. So here Rukmini is saying that Rukmini said in her letter as read by Brahmana, O beauty of the world, having heard of your qualities, which enter the ear of those who hear and remove their bodily distress, having also had your beauty, which fulfills all the visual desires of those who see, I fix my shameless mind upon you, O Krishna. See, beautiful. Simply by hearing, all we can remove the bodily distress. Sokannava. Today verses is called Sokannava. Soka Annava means, Soko means tears or miseries. Annava means ocean of misery can be dry up. We do not know how many times we have, how many tears we have shed. Not only this life, since time immemorial. Gallons of tears we have shed. We are undergoing suffering, so many galaxies of suffering, enormous suffering. But all of these can be dried up simply by hearing. By hearing the glories of the Lord. That is the power, the potent, the tremendous potent of Harikatha. So this is beautiful verse by Rukmini. Therefore, it is stated in this beautiful same chapter. One of the verses is very nice. Brahmana Krishna Katha Punyam Madhive Lokamalapaha Konu Triptat Sinvanta Tagya Nittanu Tanaha. What experienced listener of Brahmana could ever grow satiated while listening to the pious, charming, ever-present topics of Lord Krishna, which cleanses away the world contamination? Who can be satiated? Particularly devotees, those who are avoiding hearing about Krishna Katha, Bhagavatam Gita, they were not advanced, they are neophytes. Just mark it. This is Shastra said. They cannot go back to God. Very difficult, very slim chances. Without hearing, you cannot develop the love, actual love. Otherwise, it's a sentimental provocation. It is sentimental provocation, neophytes level. Therefore, it is said that who can be satiated by listening the charming, ever-fresh, Nitya Nutanaha. It's not like a stale, oh, I know, Prabhu, about Putana, I know about Sakatasura, Bakasura, Agasura, Arishtasura. No. It's like a Nitya Nutanaha, ever-fresh. And devotee rallies that. Unless a devotee is a neophyte level, jaundice patient, he does not like to taste sugar, he tastes it like a bitter. So those who are very low level of our devotional service, beginner, for them, but the medicine is that They keep hearing, keep hearing. As their disease, material disease cure, they will develop the taste. They will release the Krishna Katha proportionately. Beautiful verses, it is very nice verses. So even another thing like Brahmana Patni. When Krishna went to forest and he was hungry, that time there was the Brahmanas, the smarta Brahmanas. They are doing all the ritual sacrifice, preparing so many food items to offer in the yajna, sacrifice. But Krishna and all these cowherd boys, they were very hungry. Krishna sent all the cowherd boys who asked the Brahmanas. Brahmanas denied to give to Krishna. But when their wives, they hear about that Krishna Balaram, they are asking food. They immediately took the prasadam food and went to meet Krishna. Despite there is a restriction, prohibition from their brother, husband, family members. Now, how they get this attraction? On the other hand, the Brahmanas, who are very exalted, they could not get that attraction. Those were supposedly exalted. This is stated in beautiful verses that how they got this, yeah. So there's a beautiful verses here. It is stated that forget this. Although their husband, brothers, sons, other relatives forbid them from going their hope of seeing Krishna cultivated by extensive hearing of his transcendental quality. See, cultivated by extensive hearing of transcendental qualities. By hearing, they have got this desire to see Krishna. Despite their forbid, but they did not, they did not care about that and they went to see Krishna. Why this attraction to see the Krishna developed? Because of extensive hearing. Cultivated by extensive hearing of transcendental qualities, they own out. Therefore, we have to also have an extensive, profuse hearing. Without profuse hearing, Krishna Katha, extensive hearing of Krishna Katha, we will not develop that desire, intense desire to see Krishna. Intense desire to see Krishna. Therefore, it is the injunction of Shastra that every times everybody should hear. Tasmat sarvatmana rajan hari sarvata sarvatra sarvada sotaiva kititavyasya smatagya bhagavananinnam. O king, it is therefore essential. It is very essential that every human being hear about, glorify, remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead always and everywhere, always and everywhere. No such restriction that I cannot hear, they are here. There is no such fahad and fast. Everywhere and always here. Hari Katha. That is the golden rule. That is the most important rule. Smataiva satatam Vishnu Vismaitava najatusi. Every time remember. And remembrance comes by hearing. You cannot remember without hearing. Remembrance is the output of hearing. So that is the criteria has been given. Therefore, it has been injunction of Shastra. Every human being must hear. The beautiful verses in this Buddhava is speaking to Krishna directly. Tava vikriditam Krishna ninnam paramamangalam tanna piyusam asadya tajjanti anyastamjana. O my dear Krishna, your pastime are supremely auspicious for mankind, are an intoxicating beverage for the ears. Tasting such pastime, people forget their desire for others. Misdirected desire brings us into the material world. And that misdirected desire can be vanquished when you hear Krishna Katha, the pastime of the Lord. Because it's supremely auspicious, Mangalam. Very, very, is a festival to the mind. Is always fresh, new and fresh. Nitya Nutana. Nitya Nutana. So therefore, so this hearing is very, very important. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, when he was in Puri, is one of his pastime. Every day he will go to the Tota Gopinath. Gadadhar Pandit was there. Gadadhar Pandit will recite Srimad Bhagavatam, particularly two characters, Dirba Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. Every day, 2-3 hours, Mahaprabhu will hear. The Supreme Lord also so attracted by his own katha that he always goes. Even in Dwaraka, when the Rohini, Mother Rohini was speaking the Krishna Katha to all the all the queen of Krishna and Balaram, they came to hear. It was so attractive that because Hari Katha attract the Hari, they came and hear. And after hearing, they become so ecstatic, their limbs contracted. And that form become Jagannath, Baladeva and Subhadra. All the limbs contracted by hearing the Krishna Katha. They are into very Mahabhava. So Hari Katha attracts her. It is stated in these beautiful verses also that Sinvanta Sadhaya Nityam Grinantasya Stitam Kalena Natidirghena Bhagavan Visate Hute. Person who hears Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam means it's a full of narration of Krishna Katha regularly, and therefore it is Vaishnavanam Priya. Why Vaishnavas very much likes Srimad Bhagavatam? Why it is so dear to Vaishnavas? Because Vaishnavas always inclines to hear Krishna Katha. They know that Krishna Katha, the only way to please Krishna, to attract Krishna, by hearing Krishna Katha. So therefore Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear. Why? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is the full of narration of Krishna Katha. From beginning to end, nothing else, only Krishna Katha. That's all. Dharma Projita Kaitava. Nothing else, only Krishna Katha. Therefore it is Vaishnavanam Priya. So person who hears Srimad Bhagavatam regularly are always taking the matter very seriously, will have the personality of God as Sri Krishna manifested in their heart within the short time. Kalena Natidirghena. It will not take so much time. Krishna will come. Krishna will come. Next verses he say that how Krishna will come and clean all these material inabilities, material frailties, material dirty things. Pravishta kannarandrena swanam bhavasaruram gunati samlama Krishna salilasya vidhasari. Pravishta kannarandrena means when Krishna Katha enters, sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Soul, enters into the heart of a self-realized devotee. When you hear, when Krishna Katha enter, it will cleanse. Sinbantam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana. Bhujantustani Abhadrani, all this Abhadrani, dirty thing that forbids us, prevents us to attract Krishna. Because Krishna is so pure. We have to make our heart pure in order to invite Krishna in the heart. Krishna is Pavitram, Param Brahma, Paramadhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. He is supremely pure. So if we make our heart unclean, dirty, full of debris, full of frailties, flaws, kama, krodho, lobo, mada, maschara, all these 6 enemies, how Krishna can come? We have to make our heart like a butter, so soft, so pure. Why Krishna called Navanita Choram? Butter thief, because butter represents the purity. White, butter is white. White is purity. So we have to make our heart as pure. So Krishna comes despite our Maya, despite all the Maya has created, erected so many walls of lust, walls of greed, walls of envy, walls of jealousy, walls of anger. All these things can be decimated by Krishna, because Krishna is a foremost thief. So Ragya Ganyam Purusam Namami. Krishna is a foremost thief. He can sneak through our ear into the heart, provided we have to make our heart as butter as pure. Then we can invite Krishna. Krishna does not need even invitation. A thief does not need any invitation. No need of any preparation also. We have to only think that we have to prepare only butter, just like a gopis. They are having one thing, butter. They prepare butter that Krishna will come. Actually, they wanted Krishna to steal, come and eat. Because their heart is pure as butter. Krishna is not stealing the butter actually, butter of the heart of the gopis. Braje prasiddham navanita choram gopangana namcha dukulam choram. Aneka janma arjita pagocharam. All this aneka janma, due to our karma, we have accumulated so many reactions of our karma. That can be also stolen by Krishna. It's such a dangerous form of chore. So therefore, we have to make our heart as pure. And how we can make it pure? Because by hearing Krishna Katha, it cleanses. Krishna, first of all, by hearing, he cleanses the heart, then he comments it. That is the effect of Harikatha. How potent? Krishna himself cleanses. Viduna Tiswasatam. Then he himself sits there in the heart. No more Maya. Jaha Krishna, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Andakara. Jaha Krishna, Tahe Nahi Maya Radhikara. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no jurisdiction of the Maya. Maya has no locus standi. Maya cannot stand. So therefore, we have to hear in order to cleanse our contaminated heart, in order to cleanse our polluted aim of life, in order to cleanse our misdirected desire of enjoying separately from Krishna. So this is the process how this is also very nice. So many verses are there glorifying the hearing. By regular hearing, chanting, meditating on the beautiful topics of the Lord Mukunda with ever increasing sincerity, a moral being will attain the divine kingdom of Lord. See, divine kingdom of Lord simply by hearing process. Well, the invaluable power of death holds no sway. For this purpose, many persons, including great kings, abandon their mundane home to the forest. That this verse also there in 10th canto 47:8. This is also there. By hearing process, how we can, the death cannot approach us. Rather, we can go back to divine kingdom of God. The beautiful verses also here. To hear about the pastime that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. For those who relish just a single drop of that, single drop, even once their dedication to the material duality is ruined. Many such persons have suddenly give up their wretched homes, families, and themselves becoming wretched, traveled here to Vrindavan, wander about like birds begging for the living. This is best way. That is called one-way ticket to Vrindavan. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur say that you cannot go to Vrindavan by buying the to and fro ticket, return ticket. You can go by one-way ticket. And how we can buy the one-way ticket? By hearing process past time. Unless you hear, you cannot. You cannot stay there. People go there. They're trying to stay there. They cannot stay there. Because Vrindavan is such a lofty consciousness. You have a material desire, you cannot. Therefore, Rupa Goswami says that, what is that? Jadi Bandhu, what is that? If you have a desire, Jadi Hasya Parihasa Bandhu Sange, if you have a desire to cutting jokes with your friends, relatives, do not go to Vrindavan. If you go to Vrindavan, do not go to Jamuna. If you go to Jamuna, do not go to Kesi Ghat. If you go to Kesi Ghat, do not see Krishna Govinda with Trivangi. Trivangi Govinda, three curve. Don't see because you cannot come back. That means indirectly he's saying you go to Vrindavan. Give up all this material desire. You go to Vrindavan. So this is very nice, and And on the other hand, those who are not interested in hearing, they are very much condemned. It is stated that nowadays devotee also not interested to hear. Kapil Dev is speaking very nicely, Bhagavan Ubata. The this should not be possible. Beautiful verses. It is say that 15:20. It is very much regrettable that unfortunate people do not discuss the destination of Vaikuntha planet, but engage in topics which are unworthy to hear. Which bewilders when intelligent, those who give up the topics of Vaikuntha, take the talk of material world, are thrown into the darkest region of ignorance. So this is also the negative thing, pros and cons. So try to understand. So always try to hear Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Prabhupada made it very composed order actually. We must hear regularly. Otherwise we cannot. We go back to again hell. My Lord, person who are bereft of all auspicious performance of chanting and hearing about your transcendental activities, and certainly unfortunate, are also bereft of good sense. They engage in inauspicious activities, enjoying sense gratification for a very little while. Very little while. Therefore, one should hear regularly. Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhakti. Therefore, in this Kali Yuga, particularly, it is stated here, this beautiful last verses before we end up. It's a beautiful verses. Particularly in this age of Kali, it is recommended here, strongly recommended. Yani charita sa manusya sadhava kalu tinbanta pitanta cha charisati ajnasa tamaha. How to cross the ocean of material existence, particularly in this age of Kali, very difficult age. My dear Lord, those pious and saintly persons who in the age of Kali hear about your transcendental activities and also glorify them will easily cross over the darkness of the age. See, will easily cross over. The easiest process of crossing over the darkness of the age is to hear the transcendental activities of the Krishna. Adbhuta Karmana, wonderful activity. So, thank you very much. We will end here. This is a very, very important topic. Prabhupada says that hearing is the gateway to liberation. Hearing is the expressway to God. If who is not hearing, they are not advanced. By hearing, we will sprout all our other service can be, chanting will be very much refined. Our chanting, our everything, our chanting, our cooking, our worshipping, our preaching, everything can be adjusted simply by hearing. If you hear properly, you can do all other activities properly. Thank you very much. Jai Gantrasma Bhavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaurav. Hari Hari Bol.